teach you how to edit multicam shoots in Final Cut Pro X. Now, if your version of Final Cut Pro looks a little bit different to mine, don't worry. The different versions have different looks, but the steps are all exactly the same. Now, if you need to get a little bit of support on how to import your footage, there's a different video for that. And if you want some extra help on how to actually shoot it, I'm preparing a guide on that as well. But this is to the point where you actually have your footage imported into Final Cut. You can see here that I've got both of my clips, camera B and camera A, and we're ready to start the editing process. Yeah, so the first thing that you need to do is select one of your clips, whichever one you want, and control click. Now this is going to give you a little drop down menu with loads of options that you can do. I want you to select the one that says new multicam clip. It's the second one down. And as soon as you do that, it's going to come up with this other little dialog box asking you to name it. So let's call it multicam clip. You can name it whatever you want. Oh, that is not how you spell my name. And what it's going to do, it's going to create this clip in your browser. Now notice how this one has got 4 little squares on the top left, and that means that this is the clip that will contain all of the different angles. That means all the different cameras that you shot your interview or your event with. Yeah? If you double click into it, on what would be your timeline, it opens up one of the angles so you can have a look. Yeah? Let me turn off the audio scrolling. Now what you need to do is add a second angle so you can include the footage from the second camera. So come here to this little arrow next to the name of your angle, and choose this option that says add angle. Immediately underneath it, you'll have another space where you can drop the footage from your second camera. So let's do that. Let's select, drag and drop, and put it in the angle. Notice how I'm not really worrying about where I put it, because Final Cut is going to use the audio of both of these clips to sync them up. Something to keep in mind is that you can use the icons here on the left to monitor the audio or the video of your clips, just to check that you can hear them and you can watch them. So for example, if I turn on the audio for both of them and play them out at the same time, because these are not matched up, you can hear both of my voices going on at different times. How do we sync them up? Pretty easy. You need to make sure that the audio track that you've got, or the video track that you've got with the clearest audio, is selected as the monitoring angle. So if we come again to the little arrow next to where the angle is, you can click down and see that is the one selected as the monitor audio. Excellent. And then all you need to do is select the footage in your second angle, come to the drop down menu next to the second angle, and hit sync selection to monitoring angle. Now let's say that you had 3 or 4 different cameras. You'd have to repeat this process every single time. Yeah? So let's do that. Sync selection to monitoring angle. Now it's going to take it a little while to think about it, and depending on the length of your clip, it might take longer. But see how very quickly it identified exactly where this clip needs to go, so it's synchronized with the one at the top. So let's play the audio and see if that's true, if you can hear both of them simultaneously. Albeit a bit loud because you'll have 2 audio tracks. Yeah, so you can hear both of my voices on at the same time. That means it's successfully synced up the audio. Excellent. Now let's get to editing. This is not where you start doing the cutting process. This is just where you sync them up. Yes, if you had another angle, you just need to come here, add another angle, do the same thing, sync it to the monitoring angle. Yeah? Now, to start editing, I need you to make a new project. A project is the timeline where you can actually do all of your edits. So if you come up to File, New Project, let's call it Laura Multicam Edit. And it immediately gave me a timeline like the one that you're normally used to using in Final Cut Pro to edit. Yeah? What I want you to do now is to grab the multicam clip. This is the box that contains all of the different angles that we've already synced together, and drop it into your timeline. Now if you play it just like that, you can only see one of the angles. Nevertheless, Final Cut has a really cool feature to help you edit it in real time, while you can switch between the angles. So what you have to do is come to the viewer. This is the viewer wherever any of your video plays. And come to the top right where it says View. If you click down, there is an option that says Show Angles. Can you see it? It's the second one down. If you hit that, the viewer changes a little bit, and you can use your mouse to adjust the difference between the panels so it's easier to read. To watch, sorry. So now, for example, if I go to a bit where I know I have a second angle, yeah, because remember my second video was quite a lot shorter than the first one, you can see them both play at the same time. And now all I need to do is cut through them real time using these tools at the top. So let me run you through them. The first one, if you select that one, when you click between your angles, it cuts the video and the audio. Yeah? The second one only cuts through the video, it only switches through the video. And the third one only switches through the audio. It depends on the quality of your audio, and depends on how many cameras you're using. It depends on how many microphones you had available, which one of these you're going to need. So, but for the purposes of now, because this audio was actually quite clear, I'm going to leave the audio there and I'm only going to switch between the video. So all you need to do now is play it out real time. And then as you go along, start making edits. And that means just selecting from side to side. And I don't know if you've noticed, but as I was doing the selections up there in the angle viewer, down here, it started making cuts. Yeah, so if I play this back, can you see the cuts in between the clips? So if I play this back, it should have and I can keep cutting as we go. And then it's another one, and another change. And if I play it back again, you should be able to see how it's already done the edit. Yeah? Now let's say you got a little bit premature with your edit. You can try and finesse it a little bit by putting your cursor in between one of these edits. And you can see how it changes from the arrow to the trim editor. And you can pull the edit either side. So if you think, you know what, that cut needs to be a little bit earlier or a little bit later, you can do that. And then when you play it back, can you see that? And then you can just keep watching it and switching through it. And there you go. Basically, all you have to do is then watch it through, edit through it, decide if there's any bits that you don't want. So for example, here this whole first bit doesn't have a second angle, so I'm just going to select it and delete it. So like that, delete it. I can lay titles over it, I can do anything, and then you just export as you normally would.